It's been nearly a year since kids have been able to get inside to see their parents. And for Keith O'Dean and his father, Bruce, getting inside sure beats a view from the window.
Lots of squirrels and the woodpeckers.
When I was here back in October, this is what nursing home visits look like for father and son.
How are things going on the inside? Have there been any changes recently with COVID?
5 months later, COVID restrictions are beginning to loosen up. And now that Bruce has received both doses of the COVID vaccine, he can finally be together with his son in the same room.
Kind of bringing back memories from childhood.
During their family visit, masks are still required.
You always have been so social and connected.
And the hardest part for Keith and his dad, keeping the 6 feet apart.
I'd love to come over and give you a great big hug. I don't know if the hug police would arrest me or not.
Keith is hopeful that will soon change, since he's scheduled to receive his second dose of the vaccine.
Hopefully sometime very soon we can have a visit in here where we don't have to worry about those things anymore.
Even though a meeting like this is far from ideal.
I want to give a little bit of that. I want to give a little bit of the personal touch back to his life. So
Keith knows it's one step closer to the day he can finally give his dad that long-awaited hug.
Maybe someday soon.
In Black River Falls, Marti Glaser, Spectrum News.
Who's eating their green beans today?
It's lunchtime at the Academy of Little Vikings in Mount Horeb.
Oh, you're going to eat them down there, Morgan, huh?
Kids here have one thing on their mind and a lot more on their faces.
This is our delightful ducks room.
Under her mask, daycare owner Brenda Fritz puts on a brave face for the more than 100 children she considers her kids.
That's awesome.
Yet beneath the surface, she's still mourning her loss of the Little Cardinals Academy in Cross Plains.
We were starting to make a difference in that community, but when COVID, did a hit to my knees, I couldn't run anymore.
Brenda held on from May until November.
We did get funding for COVID relief, but it wasn't enough to save my Cross Plains facility. It came too late.
And for Brenda, it's even painful to talk about because she feels she failed the children, the community, and herself.
It was many days of realizing that it financially and from a business standpoint needed to be done, but it's hard to say that you'll be responsible for somebody's child and take that away.
Brenda's not alone. The Department of Children and Families estimates 5% of Wisconsin's daycare centers have closed. And in an email response to Spectrum News, the Department of Children and Families acknowledged many programs are losing staff at an alarming rate, so much so that they cannot serve all the children they're licensed for. Child care programs cannot hire and retain all the staff needed to maintain state-required ratios, and therefore keep all of their classrooms open. Without continued funding and support, the child care crisis will continue.
Kids not getting that educational start from 0 to 7. And you may not see it here and now, but when those kids get to be high schoolers, that's where society is going to pay even more for them as they grow older.
It's why for Brenda, daycare is more than a business. It's an opportunity to provide the future generation with consistency. Here at Jane's Cafe in Beloit, we're about 100 feet from the South Beloit, Illinois line. And customers inside say it's been the talk of the town for the last couple days.
The thing that went through my mind was the firefighters.
Sally Staniford lives off Prairie Avenue in Beloit. She didn't hear about the fire Monday morning.
No, I seen up in the sky.
As a massive fire broke out at Chemtool, a grease and lubricant manufacturer in Rockton, Illinois. It hit close to home.
My boys were in this area because they do garbage route. Both my boys do. And they seen this explosion happen.
Danielle Coplian was here working at the time.
We were watching it for all day here, watching it out the window. And I didn't know what was going on. They said they went outside and they could feel the vibrations. It's scary.
Marty Schoonover is a regular here. He's also a retired firefighter.
You know, it's a dangerous place, so these guys are leaving their families to go fight something like that. Not any different than the military, you know, the military services. We want everybody to come home safe, and pretty proud of that fire chief.
The City of Beloit Fire Department was one of more than a dozen Wisconsin crews that responded on Monday.
Today, last word that we had gotten, Illinois MABUS is mainly handling a lot of the mutual aid now. You know, the Wisconsin companies, engine companies and all the ladder companies and stuff have been returned back to their cities yesterday.
Meanwhile, back at Jane's Cafe,
And churches and communities in general are going to support their firefighters because a lot of them are volunteers.
customers here are proud to be part of this small town where everybody's willing to lend a helping hand. In Beloit, Marti Glaser, Spectrum News. Vietnam veteran Dennis Schwab has waited over a year for this moment.
I'm happy finally getting back here.
And he's not alone.
It's the world.
Oh, I'm so glad it's open.
Because for these veterans, this wood shop inside the Wilson Senior Center in Milwaukee isn't just any place.
It's a God-given gift. It takes your mind off all your problems, camaraderie.
With the exception of
This
COVID,
is the one I just finished today.
Don Koss has been coming here for 24 years straight.
Yeah, I miss this place. I need this place.
It's hand carved.
It's an extension of Robert D'Addario, too.
I wake up to and look forward to come here.
So you can only imagine how difficult it's been for them with the senior center closed.
I don't know if you want to say you become very depressed, but you know, it's such a lonely thing. Come here, you can talk about anything and everything with the people.
People like Dennis, whose level of resilience is
He's one
inspiring.
of my favorite people.
Been kind of locked up doing nothing at home but taking care of my health issues and wishing I was back here.
Back here, making cribbage boards and keeping his mind off his battle with recurrent cancer.
It's something to do.
Even if it's not a sunny day, it becomes very sunny to me.
Because for these veterans, being back here is what freedom means.
Hey, Bob, come on.
In Milwaukee, Marti Glaser, Spectrum News.